Hello guys. So, I'm really sorry about last video specifically on what if Deku was in FGO last video because at the time I just realized after the video that the problem was my Spotify and the headphones that I'm using. So, yeah. So, that's why I'm not using headphones and music for this episode. So, yeah. Even though it seems low quality, at least it doesn't glitch. Okay? Good. So, if you want me to answer some questions about the recording in when my video basically is finished uploading, well, just ask in the comments. For example, is the quality is pretty bad or good, or it's still glitching or not glitching anymore. Just basically say like that. Okay? Good. So, let's begin. Hello guys, I am back from another video and today we're talking about what a deku was in FGO, specifically Fate Grand Order. So, in the last video, Deku, well, after Izuku finally meets his brand new servant named Mephistopheles, Ilya von Einsburn, Mio Edelfelt, Irish Irishment, and brand new servants named Lancelot and Antalante. Specifically, Atalante Alter, because, well, in that version she is a berserker and I'm trying to get her, but unfortunately I can't get her in FGO because my luck is literally like F tier in FGO. I'm seriously angry about that banner. Like, literally. Anyway, so, after the announcement of the Sports Festival has come out, it's finally the day of the Sports Festival. So, when Izuku arrived there, Izuku blocked all of the exits so he can activate his noble phantasm better. So, when Hans, Alistair, his so-called best friend and his so-called brother in arms, came to get ready to defeat him, Izuku activated his noble phantasm, called Orter der Varat. After Izuku activated that noble phantasm, it basically decimated, not decimated, more like changed the Colosseum, making it float up to the sky, but thankfully it created chains that bound it to that area, basically making it into what do you call it? A reality marble. So, after being trapped there, Izuku showed him one of his memories. A memory about when Izuku and him, back when they were playing at the playground. I meant the play yard. After doing that, Izuku transformed it into a wasteland. Specifically, the walls were lined with each of the corresponding symbol of the classes. Like, for example, Rider, Assassin, Berserker, Caster. But unfortunately, Izuku doesn't have the Saber class. So, yeah, he will probably get it after defeating Hans. So, after that, Izuku was standing over him, like sitting on a throne made of gold. Everybody started screaming at Izuku, saying what is happening, and saying, "What are you doing?" But Izuku doesn't care. He's blinded by revenge. And he will get his revenge by getting the Holy Grail, no matter what the cost. So, we ended on that, episode when all of his servants were told to get ready to attack Hans. So, let's go back to that part. So let's talk about what happens next. So, the servants started charging towards Hans. Hans dodged them by using his blade, known as Isis Festus, which was wielded by Nero Claudius. So, after doing that, one of his servants, being Lancelot, starts bringing out his sword, which is basically like a chainsaw sword from, well, Warhammer. Just imagine that. So, Lancelot, Lancelot starts charging towards him and starts whacking at him with his blade. Gets kicked right in the back by Hyde, as Hyde says this. It's been a long time since I had some fun. Hey, Mr. Ivan, as Ivan says this. As he says this. Hey, throw me over there. As Ivan throws, well, Hyde at him. As, well, let's just say something gruesome happens. All of his intestines started, well, spewing out after getting slashed by Hyde, as he starts spitting out blood. As one of his servants, one of them being John, and John the Ark, the regular version, says this. So, Izuku, you ready? As Izuku says this. That is ready as I'll ever be, Alter. How about you, Joan? As she says this. Ready at your command. As Izuku says this. Now, activate your noble phantasm. As Joan activates her noble phantasm. Wait for a second. Luminous Eternal. As when she did that, it powered up all of the servants, making them even stronger in defensive and offensive wise. So, after doing that, they started charging towards him in like lightning speed. As Izuku says this. Now it's your turn, Vlad. As Vlad says, very well, Master. As several of these almost spike-like protrusions started coming off of him, coming from his chest. Wait for it. As he says this, Kazibel Bay! As several of these spike-like protrusions started charging towards Hans, as he gets stabbed multiple times. Thanks to him being in his demi-servant form, it started to heal a little bit, his stomach, as he says this. We are strong, Izuku. As Izuku says this, flattery won't save you. After all, you did kill them, my parents. After they were told that, Bako said this, while basically falling down to the floor, as she says this. Wait, Inko? Aunt Inko? She starts crying, saying, I could have been... She starts crying, thinking that she should be with Izuku. She could have comforted Izuku after, well, after Izuku's mother and father's death, but she wasn't there at that time. As for, wait for a second, Kendo, she says this. What? Izuku, what? Everybody was scared, even a bit saddened, even felt, well, pity for Izuku. Some even cheering him on, saying that he should kill, Hans, as it fueled the fire within him. As Izuku says this, now it's your turn. Come forth, Gilgamesh, the first hero. As everybody hears that, they say this. Wait, first hero? As they see Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh says this. Ha 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 ha. It's been a long time since I came to the public. Now, it's time for you to pay with your life for killing my master's parents. Now, come forth, the sword of rupture, as a large blade appears from the portal. Actually, it's more like a spear to me, or a wand. Apparently, some depictions say that it's, or some legends, or some of the wikis say that it's based off, well, wands, because the concept of a sword never came to be until after a few years, apparently. So, let's just say it's a wand sword. So, this swan started twirling, creating a massive tornado made from black, red, and white, almost glimmering. As he says this, Emira, Elish, as it creates a blast of energy, which causes a big explosion, which destroys a part of Izuku's reality marble. But thanks to Izuku gaining the power of an Avenger, it started healing up, almost like it's an actual creature, a living being. As I'm really sorry about that. It's just my grandmother watching TV. Let me just close the door. So, after doing that, well, Hans is pretty much just completely much mortified. His body felt like he's about to break, turned, like almost turned into dust, apparently, he said under his breath. As Izuku says this, had enough. For being the second most powerful family, and the second most so-called most powerful person in our class back in the day, Izuku steps down and goes in the battle arena. Izuku says this, "You're quite weak." Izuku kicks him and causing him to go into a wall as Han says this, "Mercy! Even though I'm the one who killed your parents, it's my family's fault. They forced me to do..." As Izuku grabs him by the neck. As Izuku says this, "Mercy? I don't have any mercy towards you or your family. I consider anybody associated as scum." Izuku's eyes turned blood red as his body started changing, almost turning into a monster. His his arm, specifically the prosthetic one, started transforming into a large claw, almost like a hand of a demon. A part of his face turns black, with several lines apparently ablazing on it. These lines and symbols depict legends, specifically from Norse mythology, as he gains a horn. As Izuku says this, You, you, you killed them." Izuku's, well, demonic, almost monstrous form throws him, like, literally across the arena as everybody's saying, "Yeah, kill him!" As most of the people either cheered them on or too afraid to try and, well, let's just say, wait for a second, argue with him. The teachers were mortified seeing Izuku like this. They thought Izuku was just a nice person, but deep down, they were just all tricked. Seeing Izuku in his raw, unfiltered form, his true personality was new to them. Izuku says this towards Hans. "Your family. Why would I ever forgive your family who killed mine?" You know what? I should have some fun with you before you die. Izuku throws him up in the air and starts summoning out his guns, Ebony and Ivory, which I just picked the names of, like, well, Devil May Cry gun specifically from Dante because, well, I was too lazy to think of a name. As Izuku starts shooting him, using his mini noble phantasms called just um wait for a second, flames of vengeance, flame bullets, which basically just acts as like shotgun bullets, but firing at the same speed as like a minigun. That is why they look like miniguns. So, after doing that, he started crying, saying, "But we were best friends. Please." As Izuku says this, "Stop trying to beg for your life. You seriously think that I would ever forgive you? And also, I know that your family's here as well. As several, as in several, I mean, about 50 people were captured and brought into the arena. As Izuku covers their, not covers, more like revealed their faces, as they were a part of the Alistair family. As Izuku sees Aunt Alistair, his so called aunt, the one who trusted him, or should I say, Izuku trusted her. As Izuku says this, "Oh, hello, aunt. It's been a long time." As she says this, "Wait, Izuku, I didn't really." As Izuku stabs her right with his sword, emblazoned with flames of hate. Izuku says this. "This is the power of a mage. A mage that's more powerful than you, than ever anybody can be. All of you, you call yourselves the most powerful mages just because you killed my family? Even powerful in a social standpoint, and a ranking standpoint, to be more specific. You're not strong in the mental and physical side." As they were killed instantly by the help of Jack the Ripper, Hassan, and Emiya assassin, specifically Emiya Kiritsugu, or Kiritsugu Emiya, or whatever you want to call him, including Ishtar helped. Even though she didn't like the methods that Izuku did, she still believed that Izuku, well, wants revenge, because that's what humans want. They still have emotions like revenge, happiness, even sadness is an important part, well, for humans. That's what makes us humans. I'm actually spitting out philosophy, god dang. Anyway, so, after Izuku killed every single one of the family that's associated with the Alistair family, Izuku says this towards the last remaining Alistair, Hans Alistair. As Izuku says this, "Oh, you're the last remaining of your family, just like me. Now we're equal. Actually, I'm not done yet." As Izuku summons out one of his best, Izuku summons out Lancelot. As Lancelot appears, he says this, "Arthur!" As Izuku says this, "Hey, Lancelot, would you mind having some fun with him?" As in fun, I mean ripping it slowly and painfully. As after Lancelot was given that order, well, let's just say things got a little bit bloody. Some of the people that were watching this started cheering towards Izuku, but the students, specifically Izuku students, they were mortified. Seeing Izuku, a person that was pretty kind, pretty nice, and also a bit, let's just say, funny, his true personality, it's almost like they were in a different dimension. So, after was killed, Izuku grabs his hand, rips it off, and gains the last crest, winning the Holy Grail War. But that's not the end, well, I don't know what to call you, my guys and gals. That's what I usually call you in my community tab. So, yeah. So, after Izuku grabs the last crest, the crest of the Saber class, Izuku hears the sound of twinkling. Izuku sees above him the holy ill. Izuku grabs it. As Izuku whispers, this, I wish. I wish my parents would be back with me. After Izuku wishes for that, Izuku falls to the ground and gets knocked out. Like he was, well, drugged. After doing that, his noble phantasm basically was deactivated, and the Colosseum started floating down nicely. Almost like nothing happened. So, after the teachers were released, they started charging towards Izuku, seeing him knocked out. As one of his servants, being Ishtar, says this, "What are you doing?" As one of the teachers said this, "Who are you?" As she says this, "Oh, my name's Ishtar, the goddess of Venus. So, you humans are a bit different, seeing you with these powers after all. Hmm, well then, guess I'll be bringing Izuku to a hospital, and do not follow me. The rest of my friends, or specifically my servants, will kill you." So, after bringing Izuku to the nurse's office, after, well, being, well, let's just say, what is her name? After Recovery Girl sees, well, Ishtar, she says this, "Oh, what the? So, are you the," as she says this, "Yes, I'm the person who also killed that boy. And please, do not disturb Izuku. He's currently asleep." She puts Izuku right on the bed. As Izuku sleeps, Izuku was brought to a land filled with flowers and forever morning. This wonderful light almost feels invigorating, almost like Izuku felt like a great weight was, well, pulled out of him, almost like something ripped out of him, like something evil, and turning him back to normal. As Izuku looks in front of him, Izuku sees a person. He has white hair and wielded a large staff. As he says this, "Hello there. The name's Merlin." As Izuku says this, wait. Izuku falls down into the flowers. Izuku says this, "Wait, you're Merlin? The Merlin? The Grand Caster?" As Izuku was shutted up by Merlin. As he says this, "Yes, you're right. I am Merlin. But it's my first time being the Holy Grail's vessel." As Zuko says this, "Well then, it's nice to meet you, Mr. Merlin." He says this, change in tone. "So, I was wondering, what was your wish, Mr. As he looks in his book, as he says this. Ah, there we go. Izuku von Ironheart. As Izuku says this, "My wish is to get my parents back. I want you to bring my back from the dead, back to normal. I want them to remember what happened. I want you to basically bring them back so I can see them again. I just want them to be alive with me." As Merlin says this, "Huh, a pretty noble wish. Well then, even though it's a bit selfish, but," he claps his hands and says this, "Alright, your wish is granted, but unfortunately you're going to be, well, asleep for a few weeks. You can't see them for a while, so you better stay comfortable, so you're gonna be staying here for a while." As Zuki says this, "Well then, if I get to see my parents, well, I don't really mind just staying here." As Izuku sits down on the floor of Avalon, Izuku says this, "Wow, this place." As Merlin says this, "Yes, This place is quite wonderful. After all, it's where heroic spirits, anti heroic spirits, and people that have tragic lives go to. So, are you comfortable here? As Izuku says this. Yes, it feels like my parents back with me. So, back in the real world, after the heroes, located Izuku, they see Ishtar, Gilgamesh, John the Ark, and John Alter sitting by Izuku's side. And also Jack the Ripper and also Enkidu. As All Might says this. Alright, well, who are you? And you, as Gilgamesh says this. So, you call yourself the number one hero, then? The name's Gilgamesh, the first hero, and in fact, the best hero, in fact. So, you dare to call yourself the number one hero of this era? As he says this, hello, Mr. Gilgamesh. As he says this, very well. Mind telling me why you decide to try and attack this boy, our master? As Enkidu says this, that's right. Even though he tried to kill that guy, he did kill his family, so it was justified. As, wait for a second, Eraserhead says this, justified. Even though it was just revenge, it doesn't mean that he has to kill an entire bloodline. As Jacker says this, don't you dare talk about mommy like that. As while they were talking, like arguing, Class 1A and Class 1B arrive as they started arguing towards, Izuku's servants. As while they were talking, something happens. A bright light appears from the sky, or should I say just from the roof, as two people arrive, being Izuku's parents. As Ego says this, where am I? Wait, we're alive. As Izuku's father, which I'm just gonna be calling, um, Comrade, because, apparently Comrade is a common name, or at least used to be a common name in Germany, so, yeah, I meant Comrade, Ironheart. As, Comrade, or Izuku's dad says this, I'm alive. Huh. So, where are we? As they see the number one hero and Izuku's servants, and the rest of the heroes in Class 1A and Class 1B. So, we will end this video at this part because, let's just say I'm completely, burning because I had to turn off the electric fan because it makes a lot of noise. So, yeah. So, I hope you liked the video. Comment and subscribe so you can support this channel, and apparently some of you are not subscribing, like the majority of you. I just hope that you subscribe to me so I can, make my channel a little bit bigger and, show off more of my content. So, yeah, so, goodbye!